You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is November 13th, 2018. It is also the feast day of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about our Catholic Church. We have been talking about how it is the largest denomination of Christians in the world with over 1 billion members. We also talked about how our church was founded by Jesus Christ himself, how all of our beliefs are stated in our creed, and yet how we are a church of human beings and how we need to pray for our church. Today we are going to talk about the idea that our church is universal. Have you ever heard that term before? The Universal Catholic Church. Well, the reason why we use the term universal is because no matter where you go in the world, no matter what language you are using in that place in the world, the church remains the same. As I said yesterday, with lots of different Christian denominations, they don't necessarily answer to anyone. The pastor in that church can decide what to talk about that Sunday. They can decide what sort of service they want to do or even where they want to do it. They can make all of these decisions themselves. This is not how it is in the Catholic Church. We all have different priests that we hear say Mass on Sunday, but each of these priests is part of the same organization. They took the same vows. They all answer to a bishop who acts as a shepherd for a larger area of Catholic people. And each bishop answers to the Pope in Rome. We are all united and we all worship in the same way each time we attend Mass. In fact, our Saint Francis Xavier Cabrini, demonstrated this. Now, St. Francis Xavier Cabrini was not born in the U.S., but she came to the U.S. when she was already a nun. She lived in New York City and she worked very hard to help Catholic immigrants from Ireland to survive, to thrive, and to be faithful here in the United States. She was able to do this because the church where she grew up and the church here in America was the same. Even though these people had been through many different experiences, spoke lots of different languages, they had one uniting thing, their faith. The faith, no matter what year it is, no matter what country you are in, the Catholic Church remains the same. In fact, I have a story for you from my own life to help you understand this. About 10 years ago, I spent the Easter Triduum, which means all of the Masses leading up to Easter. I spent that time in Cairo, Egypt, visiting a friend. While I was there, I heard Mass said in English, French, Arabic, and many other languages that I couldn't have even named. And yet, the Mass was the same. I had a little printed paper that allowed me to read the first, the second reading, and the gospel in English. But other than that, even though the priest was standing at the altar saying the words of consecration in a language that I had no knowledge of at all, I knew what he was saying because he was saying the exact same words and doing the exact same motions as all of the priests that I have ever seen do the consecration. This is the Universal Catholic Church. No matter where you might be traveling or what language they might be speaking, the Catholic Church is our home because it is the same. It is the comforting, universal truth no matter where we are. And so, Sprouts, I have a challenge for you today. I want you to look at a globe or a map of the whole world. I want you to spread it out and see how far away things are, how far away Africa is, or China, or even the very lowest tip of South America. These things are far, far away, and the people that live in these places live radically different lives than we do. But I want you to look at these places and think, if I went there, the church would be the same. If I went there, the church would be the same. Look at the map, think of that, and in that moment allow the world to be a little bit smaller and feel a little bit more united with people no matter how far away they might live from you.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. And finally, a quick heads up to the parents. As we work our way through November, we of course are looking forward to December and Advent. Here on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we will be spending all of Advent exploring the Jesse tree, meaning we will be talking about many of Jesus' ancestors as a way to prepare our hearts to welcome him at Christmas. If you would like to explore the Jesse tree even further at home with your family, I encourage you to look into a beautiful new resource. It's a devotional book for Catholic families that explores the Jesse tree. It takes the stress off of you, gives lots of biblical context, and also is designed to truly teach children about the amazing plan that God has had in place for our salvation from the very, very beginning. To explore this book and the ornaments that go with it, head to DoSmallThingsWithLove /Jesse-Tree.